In the 1992-1993 season, Manchester United thrilled fans around the world, writing a modern fairy tale in the first tournament called Premier League, ending the 26-year drought of the national championship title. The Red Devils, under the hands of Alex Ferguson, introduced a generation of talented players with fiery attacking wing play, the Fergie Time spirit of never giving up, and the ability to control the ball with great power. They not only achieved success in terms of titles with 84 points after 42 rounds, but also became an unforgettable part of the memory, laying the foundation for an empire that dominated England for the next 2 decades. But behind those glorious moments of lifting the silver cup are players with very different fates. More than 30 years have passed. Time has carved different traces on their lives. Some became legends on the coaching bench. Some chose a reclusive life, and there are also those who had to face the storms of life. Let's look back at the ups and downs of the historical witnesses, the people who made up the soul of that year's championship generation. Eric Cantona. At the age of 26, the French striker with the famous stand-up collar came to Old Trafford as if by fate. In that season, although he only played 22 matches, he contributed 9 goals and 11 assists. A terrifying efficiency. Cantona was not just a player, he was the soul, the catalyst that turned a good team into champions. With his arrogant demeanor, poetic ball handling, and unbelievable ability to create, Cantona breathed into Man United the confidence of a conqueror. His performance at the age of 26 showed outstanding character, lifting the spirit of an entire team that was struggling to find a way to glory. After opening an era of dominance with Man United, Cantona's career continued to flourish brilliantly, but also full of controversy, typically the infamous Kung Fu kick in 1995. But the most surprising thing was that when he was at the peak of his career, he decided to retire in 1997 at the age of 30, leaving behind endless regrets. Leaving the field, Cantona did not choose the coaching path like many of his colleagues. He devoted himself to cinema, becoming a real actor with dozens of films, from French works of art to commercial films. Cantona's personal life was as artistic as his playing career. He married actress Rachida Brachny and lived a colorful life in Lisbon and Paris, played beach soccer, wrote poetry, painted, and occasionally appeared with philosophical statements full of hidden meanings that made the world ponder. There was a strange connection between Cantona on the pitch and Cantona off it. Wherever he was always the center of attention, a talented rebel who always did the unexpected. Today, at the age of nearly 60, Eric Cantona still lives with the demeanor of a king, enjoying art and peace with his family, a testament to a life that dared to be different. Peter Schmeichel, then 28. Towering in stature and sporting a shock of golden hair, Schmeichel was unstoppable. He played all 42 games, kept 18 clean sheets, and conceded just 31 goals, the lowest in the league. Schmeichel didn't just catch the ball, he commanded the defense with his thunderous shouts and lightning-fast counter-attacking throws. His performances that year redefined the role of the modern goalkeeper. Fearless, proactive, and psychologically dominant, Schmeichel's career after the 1993 championship continued to reach brilliant heights, culminating in the Holy Treble in 1999, where he captained the team in the Champions League final. After leaving Man United, he continued his adventure through Portugal and then returned to England to play for Aston Villa and Manchester City, a decision that once made many Red Devils fans heartbroken. But time has healed everything. People still remember him as the greatest goalkeeper in the history of the club. In his personal life, Schmeichel has a quite fulfilling life. His greatest pride is probably his son, Kasper Schmeichel, who continued his father's fairy tale by winning the Premier League with Leicester City. The image of Peter Schmeichel jumping up in the stands when his son played has become a symbol of fatherly love in football. Today, after hanging up his gloves, Peter Schmeichel has become a prestigious football commentator on television, bringing his experience and sharp insight to a global audience. He still maintains his good physique and the bright smile of a winner. In 1993, Ryan Giggs was just an 18-year-old boy with a baby face. But on the pitch, he was a real whirlwind on the left wing, playing 41 matches, scoring 9 goals and having 5 assists. Giggs captivated the whole of England with his circus-like dribbling, his lightning speed, and his extremely good left foot. Giggs was then a symbol of youth, of a generation of Fergie's fledglings starting to come to light. Giggs' career journey after that was an unprecedented one. He stayed with the Reds all his life, playing until he was 40, winning a total of 13 Premier League titles, more than any other club in England, apart from Manchester United and Liverpool. He transformed from a speedy winger into an experienced playmaker. However, Giggs' personal life is a contrast to the glamour on the field. The image of the national son-in-law collapsed due to shocking love scandals and legal troubles after retirement. This contrast is worth pondering. On the field, he is a symbol of loyalty and perseverance, but off the field, his private life is full of turmoil and complexity. Today, Ryan Giggs is living a more private life after legal events. Although his football legacy is immortal, Giggs' life story leaves many regrets about how to maintain the image of an idol. If Schmeichel was the shield, then 31-year-old Steve Bruce was the heart of the defense, playing all 42 games, scoring 5 goals, including a legendary double against Sheffield Wednesday that brought the championship. Bruce was the embodiment of a fiery fighting spirit, with a distinctive crooked nose. From collisions, he was not afraid to throw himself into the air, using his whole body to block the ball. Bruce was the spiritual leader, the one who lifted the spirits of his teammates in the most difficult times. After leaving Man Utd in 1996 as a legend, Bruce went on to play for Birmingham City and Sheffield United before moving into coaching. His managerial career spanned many teams such as Wigan, Sunderland, Hull, City, Aston Villa, and Newcastle United. He became a hard-working welder of English football, always ready to take on difficult challenges. An interesting thing that few people know about Steve Bruce is that in real life, he has a rather romantic soul. He used to write detective novels when he was still playing, a detail that surprised many people about this seemingly dull captain. He has a happy family with his wife Janet and son Alex. Bruce also following a football career. Today in his 60s, Steve Bruce is enjoying a break with his family after saying goodbye to his stressful coaching career. He is still remembered as one of the best central defenders never to have played for England. Mark Hughes. At 28, Sparky is the team's top scorer with 15 goals in 41 games. Hughes' style of play is a combination of pressing power, the ability to hold the ball with his back to goal, and most notably his trademark thunderous volleys. He is a frontline warrior, unafraid to get into contact to create space for his teammates. After that historic season, Hughes continued to contribute to the Red Devils for 2 more years before moving to Chelsea, Southampton, Everton, and Blackburn, maintaining his peak form until the final years of his career. After retiring, he quickly established himself as a talented and strict coach, leading the Wales team, Manchester City just before the Pep Guardiola era, Stoke City, and Southampton. In real life, in contrast to his fiery and somewhat hot-tempered nature on the field, Mark Hughes is a quiet, reserved, and extremely serious man. Rarely appears in the media with personal stories, but devotes all his time to his professional work and family. Today, Mark Hughes is still active in the professional football world, contributing his extensive experience to the teams he leads, maintaining the image of a steelman of English football. Nicky Butt, 17 years old. It was the debut of a future legend. Butt was the first representative of the famous class of '92 to breathe the championship atmosphere, a bridge between the old generation and the talented young generation about to explode. After that debut season, Nicky Butt became a tenacious holding midfielder, a lungless warrior who helped Man Utd win the treble in 1999. Even King of Football Pele once praised Butt as the best player of the England team at the 2002 World Cup. After retiring, Nicky Butt did not choose a comfortable life. He and his former teammates, Giggs Scholes Neville, bought Salford City Club and participated in its management as co-owners. He also served as the director of the Man UT Academy, directly training the youth. Currently, Nicky Butt is a successful football businessman, still maintaining the straightforward, strong personality of a boy born on the streets of Manchester. Paul Ince, 24, is the team's perpetual engine, playing 41 times, scoring 6 goals. Ince brings strength, fierceness, and excellent ball recovery, his nickname. The Governor says it all about his influence and strong personality. Ince's career then took many interesting turns. He went to Italy to play for Inter Milan, then returned to England to play for Liverpool. Man U's, arch-rivals, which complicated the relationship between him and the Red Devils fans. After retiring, Ince became a coach for many teams, such as Blackburn Rovers, Milton Keynes, Dons, and Reading. He was also the first black coach to lead a team in the Premier League, breaking invisible barriers. Off the pitch, Paul Ince is a devoted father who guided his son Tom Ince to become a professional footballer. Ince's outspoken, straightforward personality on the pitch remains intact in his football commentary and interviews. Today, Paul Ince continues to work hard in coaching and media, keeping the same passion as when he was at Old Trafford. Darren Ferguson, 20 years old, son of Sir Alex, has made undeniable contributions. He played 15 matches, filling in as a midfielder when Captain Bryan Robson was injured, despite the terrible pressure of being labeled as a son of a boss. Darren played with great effort, contributed to the championship, and deserved to receive a prestigious medal, realizing he could not overcome his father's huge shadow at Old Trafford. Darren chose his own path. He moved to play for Wolves and Wrexham, becoming a respected player in the lower leagues. After retiring, he followed his father's footsteps as a coach and achieved great success with Peterborough United, helping the team to promotion several times. In real life, Darren is a quiet and serious person. He has proven to the world that he does not rely on his family's reputation, but stands on his own, 2 feet with real ability. Currently, Darren Ferguson is still working hard on his coaching career, one of the most senior and prestigious coaches in the English Football League EFL system. Gary Pallister, a 27-year-old centre-back with an ideal height and a calm playing style, also played 42 matches as his partner. If Bruce is fire, Pallister is water. He covers intelligently, is excellent in the air, and rarely makes mistakes. The combination of Dolly and Daisy, the nickname of this couple, has created a steel wall in front of the Man UT goal. After leaving Old Trafford in 1998 to return to Middlesbrough, Pallister played for a few more years before retiring due to persistent back injuries. Unlike Bruce, Pallister chose the high-pressure coaching path, becoming a TV football pundit and analyst. Pallister's life behind the spotlight is quite peaceful. He openly shares about his health problems, especially the chronic migraines he suffered during his peak playing time, a detail that makes fans admire his determination even more. Today, Gary Pallister lives a peaceful life, occasionally appearing at former Man UTD player events, always keeping a gentle smile in contrast to his fierceness on the field. Andrei Kanchelskis, 23 years old, was like a breath of fresh air, full of charm. This Russian player with the speed of the wind played 27 matches, 14 starts, and scored 3 goals in the 1992-1993 season. Kanchelskis brought the change. The acceleration on the right wing left the opposing defenders in the dust. He was the representative of the integration of English football at that time, bringing with him the mystery and tricky technique from Eastern Europe. After leaving Man U due to disagreements with Ferguson, Kanchelskis had a nomadic journey through Everton, Fiorentina, Rangers, and many other clubs. His career although having moments of brilliance also lacked the consistency to become a bigger legend. Kanchelskis' life behind the scenes is as rich as his career journey. After retiring, he embarked on a coaching career in far-flung lands such as Russia and Uzbekistan. He also wrote an autobiography sharing his culture shock when he first arrived in England and the dark corners of the dressing room. Now middle-aged Kanchelskis is still involved in football as a manager and commentator, although his hair has thinned, but the sharp eyes of the whirlwind of years ago are still there. Mike Phelan, 29 years old, was an important strategic card of Sir Alex. He played 11 matches that season, 5 starts, playing well in both midfield and right-back positions. Phelan did not possess fancy techniques, but he had sharp tactical thinking and absolute discipline. He was the type of player who was willing to sacrifice, except to sit on the bench and only shine when the team needed safety. However, Phelan's greatest legacy at Man Ud came after he retired. He became Sir Alex Ferguson's right-hand man and most loyal assistant. During the club's second golden period, 2008 to 2013, his composure and tactical vision contributed greatly to the subsequent championships. In real life, Mike Phelan is famous for his short shorts and serious face on the bench, but he is actually a very humorous and insightful person after. Leaving the top coaching job, he participated in football consulting and teaching activities. Currently, Mike Phelan is still a prestigious figure in the professional world in England, regularly sharing profound tactical perspectives on the media. Dion Dublin, 23 years old in the 1992 to 1993 season, was one of the most ironic fates in Man Ud's history. Bought to be the main striker, Dublin had a dream. Start with the decisive goal against Southampton. But then tragedy struck. He suffered a terrible broken leg and had to sit out most of the season, only playing 7 matches. It was this injury of Dublin that forced Sir Alex to urgently look for a new striker, and the name chosen was Andrei Cantona. It can be said that Dublin's pain opened the brilliant era of Cantona. However, Dublin did not let the injury stop him. After leaving Man Ut, he became a legend at Coventry City and Aston Villa, winning the Premier League Golden Boot, something few can do. Dion Dublin's life after football has been truly interesting and colorful. Instead of just being a coach, he became a very popular TV presenter on the show Homes Under the Hammer, a real estate show. Not only that, he also invented a percussion instrument called the doob and plays it professionally. Dublin's optimism and versatility is proof that when one door closes, another brighter door opens. Paul Parker. At 28, Parker played 31 times in the championship season. Despite his modest physique, Parker made up for it with speed, tenacious tackling, and precise tackling. He was a quiet hero, always ready to cover for the center-backs and tirelessly support the attack. Unfortunately, injuries curtailed Parker's peak Man UTD career after that title, and he left in 1996 and wandered around smaller clubs before retiring. Away from the pitch, Paul Parker became a famous football commentator with a straightforward style. He was not afraid to make thorny comments, even harshly criticizing his juniors at Man UT if they did not play well. This frankness sometimes caused controversy, but it reflected his true character, someone who always demanded the highest dedication. In addition to his media work, he also spent time working and living in Asia, bringing his experience to developing football countries. Danny Wallace. At 28, the former Southampton player was a fast and promising winger. However, in the 1992-1199-30 championship season, he only played twice and faded into the star-studded lineup. The reason for his decline was not professional, but health. Shortly after leaving Man Ut, Danny Wallace was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, MSA, terrible disease that attacks the nervous system. Once a fast athlete, he gradually lost the ability to move his legs. His career ended in tragedy and regret. However, Wallace's story is not one of surrender. He founded the Danny Wallace Foundation to raise awareness and support others in similar situations. Despite his life being physically challenged, Wallace has maintained an admirable optimism. Today, although he is no longer seen in public much, whenever his name is mentioned, Red Devils fans still have a special respect for a man who has fought bravely against the harshest adversity of his life. Brian McClair, 28 years old, the silent hero who can play both as a striker and midfielder with 9 important goals. After retiring, Chalky spent many years as the academy director of Man UTD, nurturing young talents. He is famous for his simple lifestyle intelligence and humorous diary entries on social networks. And Lee Sharpe, 21 years old, the flamboyant midfielder with the famous Sharpe shuffle dance. Although injuries and a free-spirited lifestyle off the field prevented his career from reaching the expected heights, Sharpe is still a beautiful part of the memories of the 9,293 generation. After retiring early, he participated in reality TV shows and now lives a happy life, enjoying the joys of golf and community events. Bryan Robson. At 35, Captain Marvel was no longer fit enough to plow through the week. He only played 14 games, mostly from the bench, but his influence in the dressing room was invaluable. That title win was Robson's reward for his loyalty after more than a decade of carrying the team through its darkest years. The image of him and Steve Bruce lifting the trophy was a touching moment of handing over power. After leaving Man UTD, Robson moved to Middlesbrough as a player coach and left many marks. He also led West Brom Sheffield United and the Thai team. However, Robson's biggest battle was not on the pitch, but with throat cancer in 2011. With the extraordinary willpower of a captain who never knew surrender, he defeated death. Today, Bryan Robson is Manchester United's most respected global ambassador. He travels the world to promote the club's image with his dignified demeanor and winning smile, living proof of the immortal Red Devil spirit. Clayton Blackmore, 27, a versatile Welsh player. With 14 appearances that season, Blackmore may not have been the brightest star, but he was the type of player every coach craved: hardworking, never complaining, and able to play in every position from defender, midfielder to striker when needed. He was famous for his explosive free kicks and absolute devotion to the red shirt. Blackmore's career was closely linked with Bryan Robson's when he followed him to Middlesbrough after leaving Man UTD. He played professionally until the age of 46 in the lower leagues, a record that shows his burning love for football. After hanging up his boots, Blackmore returned to work at the Manchester United Academy, directly coaching the youth teams. His life passed smoothly, without flashy supercars or magnificent villas, but full of joy when passing on the torch to the next generation. He often appeared in the matches of the legendary Man UTD team, still maintaining a toned physique and passionate playing style, as if to remind everyone that to make a champion it takes not only stars but also loyal guards like him. Denis Irwin. At 26 years old that year, the Irish defender played 40 matches and scored 5 goals, possessing the ability to play well with both feet and amazing free kicks. Irwin was a treasure on the wing. He was not noisy, not colorful, but was frighteningly effective. Sir Alex Ferguson later admitted that in the greatest team in history, that he led Irwin was the only name he put in first without thinking. Irwin's career at Old Trafford spanned over a decade of glory. Including the 1999 treble. After leaving United, he joined Wolverhampton Wanderers and helped them gain promotion to the Premier League at the age of 38, demonstrating incredible tenacity. In real life, Denis Irwin is the embodiment of calm and modesty, completely opposite to the scandalous world of football. He chooses a quiet life away from scandal. Currently, Denis Irwin is a global ambassador for Manchester United and a familiar face on MUTV. he still maintains the elegant demeanor of a gentleman enjoying the joys of family and relaxing golf sessions, just like the way he used to play football, gentle but classy.